headlines today, abductors of Yauri students release pictures of victims. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association begins strike over daily sales record. China's leader congratulates new Iranian president. I'm Aisha Salihu, and here is Trust TV News Update. Abductors of students of Federal Government College Yauri on Monday released pictures of their victims. Military authorities said scores of bandits have been killed, while 7 students were rescued, with 1 student dying during gun duel. The bandits attacked the school on Thursday, abducting unspecified numbers of students and teachers. Daily Trust reporter in KB, Aliyu Hamagan, has given update on the situation via phone call.
Where yet to be a certain number of students were abducted by the bandits. However, if 7 schools have been closed, definitely more schools will be closed in as much as the banditry attack has not been checked in the state. Because what took place in Birnin Yauri on Thursday, we were made to understand that the authority, the state government, was aware of the presence of this bandit around the area where the school is situated for over 2 weeks, and yet no any tangible action was taken to check this bandit until when they struck and abducted students from that school.
Okay, so according to reports just last week, 1 student had died and about 5 students were rescued, and also 2 other teachers were rescued. Do you think the Nigerian army are putting in more effort to see to it that more students and teachers are rescued in the time to come?
Yes, as we spoke to some parents immediately after the incident, the following day, the incident took place on Thursday, and by Friday we were there. We spoke to some parents who were saying the security there at the gate that were stationed, because there was a detachment of policemen that were stationed at the gate of the school, having a prior knowledge that these bandits were around and they could strike at any moment, at any time you need to say. So one of the parents who happened to have witnessed what took place told us that the security agent did well. They fought this gallantly. The only thing, they were overwhelmed by the numbers of the bandits, because the bandits were saying they invaded the school numbering about 150 of them, and each one was carrying an ammunition, a gun. So they overwhelmed the security personnel that were stationed at the gate of the school. So they really commended the effort of the security men, and as it is, the security men, we are meant to understand that they have encircled this bandit in one forest called Birindaj. They have pinned them down there with the number of the students that they have abducted. So no movement for them from all sides, because they have been encircled with the help of the vigilante group in that forest. So as it is now, we are hoping maybe in the next 1 or 2 days, these students will be released. Probably the bandit will give up and surrender and release the students.
Okay, according to some reports, we learned that these bandits have been able to contact parents of the victims. Can you confirm if in the time to come, perhaps there will be more contacts and then they would state out what their demands are?
In my own capacity, I have contacted about 3, 4, or 6 parents from yesterday to today. None of them could independently tell me he was contacted. And I spoke to about 2 or 3 teachers this morning, and none could tell me any of the school teacher or the school authority was contacted, or either or ransom or whatever situation it is. However, if they did, definitely they will contact virtually all the parents, because that has been the usual way of their operation, demanding for ransom. So I believe they will contact many, if at all they have started making the contact.
Okay, so back to schools that were shut down in the state. Do you think moving forward more schools would be shut down? Because according to the NUT chairman in the state, he said some of these schools that were shut down, about 7 of these schools were only shut down as a result of the fact that those schools are the schools that are in the front line. They are prone to these bandit attacks. Do you think in times to come, more schools would be shut down?
Yeah, certainly. certainly, if an effort is not put in place to check this bandit, then definitely schools must close down, particularly those that are at the front line, because there are 2 or 3 local governments that had been having these banditry attacks in the last 4 or 5 months back. So certainly schools located in this local government, they are prone to attack. And if the state government decided to close them off, I think they have taken the right decision and at the right time. So certainly, if the banditry, escalate or gone beyond these few local governments that they are at present, definitely more schools will close.
Okay, just one last question, and very quickly, can you state to us what other measures the state government is putting in place, apart from what they had done, just to make sure the students and the teachers regain their freedom, and then this event do not take place again?
Okay. Last Saturday, the state governor, as part of an effort to check the state of banditry in the state, he has invited local hunters, where he said he has given them an open invitation that they should invite all hunters in the state for a formal inauguration. They are going to be inaugurated and they are going to work along with the security agencies so that they will help them in arresting the situation from further escalation.
Aliyu Hamagan, Daily Trust correspondent, giving an update on the Yauri abduction in Kebbi State. Authorities in Oyo State are taking inventory of the destruction at a Fulani settlement in Oke, Ibadan, with a view to assisting victims as well as bringing the attackers to justice. Chairman of Oluyole local government area of the state, Sheti Olaide, said this when he visited the area to calm nerves after suspected arsonists have burnt down the settlement.
Actually, we received a call that someone that unidentified and disgruntled element came to wreak an havoc here, and that's the reason why we are here to take inventory and look around and see how government could be of help to the affected victim. Please, we can see ourselves. We've been able to interview the affected victim. They've give account of all what have happened over the time, and we have been able to take inventory of all those stuffs. And by the special grace of God, we'll get back to His Excellency Engineer Sheyi Makinde, and I'm assuring the affected victim that the necessary action will be taken, and adequate measure will be put in place to make sure those disgruntled elements will be attended. As you can see, the security agents are on top of the situation.
Su suka yi ta kwashe tumaki suna dawo mamu shi gida.
Mun saya kaya 500 da kuɗin 400. Allah ya isa. Allah ya saka duniya da kuɗina.
We earlier spoke with Abbas Dalibi, a freelance journalist in Lagos, to give more insight on the situation.
Yeah, the situation is calm as of now. The attack was almost 2 weeks back. So the Fulani are still around that area. Their host communities ready to receive them back, because the attackers were not from the host communities. As we were found, the attackers attacked them came from Ibadan, as the community form of the attackers were not within their communities. They are living peacefully with their communities. So the communities, the Yoruba communities were not even happy with the attack on the Fulani community, saying that they have been living peacefully for more than 30 years. The Fulanis were mostly nomadic and farmers as well. They farm around that area, and they also rear cows. So they have been living peacefully with their host communities. So as of now, they are taking refuge in an uncompleted mosque in Ogumaki area. You know, that community is very close to Ogumaki area in Ogun State. It is a border line between Ogun State and Oyo State. So the Fulani, together with their women and children, are taking refuge in an incompleted mosque. pending on when their settlement will be reviewed, because the 52 houses that they have in that settlement has been razed to ashes. Their properties burnt. They are left with nothing apart from what they are wearing on the day of the attack. So, in our visit to that environment, that is less than 12 hours to the attack, we found some community leaders, that is the Bale of Ibadan. We also found the chairman of the local government. They were there to inspect, the level of the damage. And I also, spoke with the chairman of the local government, informing to assist the planners, to review their settlement. But as of yesterday, I was able to, contact the leader of the planners there, that is Alaji Wakili. He told me that till now, no any, assistance that has came to their way, but they are still waiting for the assistance, if there would be any. I have been trying to get some information from the public relations officer of the state, that is in Oyo State. I have called him severally, and he asked me to send text, and I've sent text to him. He told me as at that time I contacted him that he's in the meeting, he cannot talk, he cannot give details as of then. But from what I gather from the locals, there are some elements that were arrested. But those, they were arrested from some of the looted, properties of those planners. That is some sheep. They have some, animals that they used to keep in their houses, not cows, but livestock. So there are some, miscreants that were staying with those properties. Some of them were arrested. But this information is not from the police, but from the locals. But the main, suspect, the government, I don't think there's anyone that was arrested. But I will try and contact the public relations officer once again to see if you can get that information.
Abbas Dalibi giving an insight on the destruction of Fulani settlement in Oyo State. Away from that, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, IPMAN, is threatening to commence strike over alleged extortion from officials of the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, a body that regulates the oil sector. Abuja IPMAN chairman Yahya Al-Hassan told reporters that the DPR is requesting petroleum marketers to submit daily sales records, a move the union sees as an attempt to extort money from marketers. Daily Trust Hamisu Matazu had earlier explained the implication of the threat and the looming strike. Kabiru Matazu, thanks for joining me here. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria threatened to go on a strike, and now reports have it that they have actually embarked on the strike. What would you say are their grievances?
Well, yesterday they called a press briefing where they threatened that they will go into industrial action over alleged extortion by DPR officials.
Okay.
The grievances then was one, they said the extortion. Two, there was a request by the DPR officials for them to retire the records of from their daily sales at petroleum stations.
Okay.
So I think they are not comfortable with that. That's why they asked for explanation from the DPR on why are they seeking that records.
Okay, so now that fuel stations have been shut down, what do you think is happening right now, especially in Suleja, as it affects motorists?
Well, our reporter who is there now in Suleja said that it has grounded activities as virtually all the filling stations have closed down. Yes, virtually all the filling stations have closed down. So, they said that the issue has to be resolved for them to commence lifting the products now. So I think this is something that the DPR and the IPMAN has to come together and address so that the public will not suffer from the
Okay, are there any responses so far from the Department of Petroleum Resources with regards to this threatened strike action that has commenced already?
Well, yeah, we sent our reporter to the DPR now. He's on his way there to talk to them about the strike and what action, immediate action they are going to take. Yes.
But then again, if the IPMAN has gone on strike and they are saying they are not going to lift fuels, that's give fuels to fuel station, so don't you think it's going to affect movement within Abuja city?
Well, this is not a new thing. We have witnessed some that happened in the past. And in most cases, when there is this, there will be fuel scarcity. Sometimes motorists will look for the fuel and they will not find it. And it has a multiplier effect. The transport fare will shoot. Even, so, you know, it has a multiplier effect. Even on the food and general transaction, you'll see things going out of hand. So the earlier they resolve this, I think the better.
Okay, now let us go to those who sell on the black market, because you know that, like you said, this is not the first time a strike action in this regard is going on. Don't you think people who sell in the black market, perhaps they must have had fuel in store now and waiting for this strike to go on so they can go ahead and sell, and then that somehow is another avenue of generating income to them? What do you think? What's your reaction to that?
Well, you know, even before the action started, the black marketers might have bought the fuel, and even in some filling stations now, you will see some will be selling, you understand, underground. And they will file it off and then sell to motorists at a very exorbitant price. So I think, as I earlier said, the earlier the better. Once they should resolve this issue so that it won't affect a common man in the society. And one thing I wanted people to know is that all these grievances you see, something that is just a misunderstanding. Let the DPR come and explain to IPMAN what they meant by retiring this, giving them the records of their sales in filling stations, daily sales at the filling stations. Okay. I think it's something that they will come together and sort. Let them work as partners, not enemies.
Coming up after the break, in a bid to curb the prevalence of some diseases, authors suggest ways to stop the spread of sickle cell anemia.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Commissioned by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Kaleri and Dolari 2,400 units of rural housing make up the first phase of 10,000 houses approved by the President as part of humanitarian interventions for the permanent resettlement of internally displaced persons and refugees affected by insurgent attacks in Borno State. Already, 4,000 of such houses have been delivered by the federal government, while work is progressing towards the full construction of all 10,000 houses approved for the people of Borno State by Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you, Mr. President.
My name is Samuel Dada. Yakubu Isa, ana mana kabi da jeje. Aminu Musa. Looking for private jobs, sometimes you get employed and the process of payment, you undergo some kind of stress.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Moving on to more stories. Niger State is on the spotlight as a result of an increase in activities of kidnappers, bandits, and armed thugs. Residents continuously complain of incessant attacks, even as they call on government to rescue them from their predicament. Hussaina Usman has more on this.
In recent times, there has been a resounding clamor for the federal government to bring an end to insecurity in Nigeria. Various groups and political stalwarts have urged the federal government to pay special attention to private and public schools across the nation as kidnappings and banditry becomes the order of the day. This local food vendor complains bitterly on how her business is being affected.
If we look Nigeria today, Nigeria is corrupt. One, killing innocent soul. Second one, hungry, hardship. Nigeria is turned upside down. Because Nigeria turned upside down, we don't have money. We are the ones that are suffering it. Children, they are not eat bellyful. Husbands, they don't have work to do.
Honestly, we are facing serious challenges in terms of insecurity. All we can say is may God take control. We are all unhappy with what's happening in Nigeria. There is no peace everywhere you go, with thieves and kidnappers everywhere. We pray to God to bring an end to this situation.
The insecurity in Nigeria State is not friendly at all. The way people are missing and the way life is not secured. And in Nigeria as a whole, it's a problem. We're supposed to, what is the essence of the security when we are not secured? Anywhere we are going to now, we are scared, we are not free. We are thinking of, even in our house, people are coming to our house to rob us.
The government say they're putting all strategies in place to curb the challenges of insecurity in the country, even as they call on citizens to be fully committed to the task of ending it as well.
They are trying to secure our life of our Nigerian people, and I'm appreciating for them. My prayer is that may God keep everybody in this our country alive so that we can see what will happen in next year 2022.
With the increasing number of abductions and criminality in Niger State, residents are calling on the government to put in extra effort in tackling insecurity before it hampers their day-to-day activity. Hussaina Usman, Trust TV News.
Away from security matters, spread of sickle cell disease can be prevented through sensitization and advocacy. This point is re-emphasized by an author of a book who wants Nigerians to join the campaign to stop the spread of the disease that damages organs like kidney and liver. This report contains more details. Many people with chronic illnesses may agree with a common statement that our illnesses do not define us, as they can still live a meaningful and fulfilling life despite dealing with an illness. In celebrating World Sickle Cell Day, Shehu Olaitan Mohammed, a survivor of the sickle cell anemia, launches a book titled I Am a Survivor, detailing his fight against the disease while calling on the need for more awareness and sensitization of the disease.
My book is just to tell others that they too can do it. We are not, our story is not all about pains and death. We too can realize our dreams. Yes. So for others out there, we should never lose hope. We should keep hope alive.
Stakeholders and support groups at the public presentation of the book commended the personality of the author and his efforts towards providing hope and reassurance to others battling the disease.
I would say that the aim of the author is being achieved because he has created awareness. He has succeeded in creating awareness to a wide segment of people, some people that know about the sickle cell disorder, some people that are just learning some of the fundamentals. We even got a lecture from a medical practitioner. So all this put together, and even in the book, there is a session by a medical practitioner. So when you put all this together, you see that it's a beautiful, beautiful awareness campaign, and the long-term goal is to, bring an end to the sickle cell disorder.
The general advice I would give, I cannot really speak because I haven't experienced it personally, but I do have people who have experienced, and the general advice that I would give is that although times may seem difficult, it's important to be hopeful that things will get better.
The book is said to provide solutions to address lack of awareness while ensuring that the right measures are taken towards curbing the prevalence of the disease. Moving away from Nigeria, President of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, has sent congratulatory messages to Ibrahim Raisi over his election as new Iranian president. Jinping's message is coming as new Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett condemns the election of Raisi, urging world powers to take hard stance during Iran nuclear agreement. Raisi is elected new president of the Islamic Republic of Iran on Friday. And in sports, at least 10,000 Japanese spectators will be allowed into Tokyo 2020 Olympics venues. Fans from overseas have been banned from the games, but organizers confirmed that venues half capacity will be permitted. The decision was announced after 5-day talks involving Tokyo 2020 organizers and officials from Japan's government, the Tokyo government, the International Olympic Committee, and the International Paralympic Committee. Before we end the news, a recap of our major stories. Abductors of Yauri students release pictures of victims. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association begins strike over daily sales record. Chinese leader congratulates new Iranian president. Let's watch this kicker video on Heritage Bank staff who gathered at Senator Andy Uba's house to demand for unpaid loan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Monday, the 21st day of June 2021. And we'll have here the staff of Heritage Bank, PLC, Abuja, who are in front of Senator Andy Uba's house in Abuja. Senator Andy Uba has been owing the bank for a couple of years now. And we are here for a peaceful meeting with him, very peaceful meeting, to ask him to kindly repay those loans, because those are depositors' funds. And those monies, if they are not repaid, we throw the number of people you see here with their families out of work, and we know the situation of the economy now. So if this number of people are thrown out of work, you know what it means. So we're here to appeal to him, the distinguished senator, to kindly pay this money so that these people will not lose their job, and of course the bank becomes a going concern. Thank you very much.
Looks like the bank staff are not planning to leave the senator's residence until he comes out to attend to them. And on this note, we come to the end of Trust TV News Update. Follow us on all of our social media handles for more news. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thanks for joining us.